Alright, so we're going to show greasing a bearing by hand. We actually have two of them to do for this wheel. So you get this grease here. So this is one grease, came out of one wheel. It's a brownish in color, and then there's some red in there. Okay. When you mix greases, you can get a mess. So I try and use either all high temp grease, which this is high temp wheel bearing grease for like disc brakes, so for drum brakes it's fine. Or if I have no other choice, if I don't know what I'm mixing, I'll use synthetic, because I don't remember the two. You could look it up and find, I'm sure. It might be moly and lithium. If you mix them, you actually can creates water. So if you look in here, at some point somebody must have put the wrong greases in this bearing, and those are actually water droplets. And if you disturb the grease, see if I can move some, you can see that it's all broke down, I guess you would call it. Can you see that? So I like to stick with synthetic grease in the wheel bearings if I can, and if nothing else, high temp grease. So you can use a grease gun and just put some grease in your hand, or what I'll do is I got clean glove, and make sure the other glove is clean. You know, pants are always a good rag, and just don't tell the wife. And so then we'll put some grease here on our hand, which I kind of mentioned before. And then this spot here is big compared to this spot here. So we're gonna put the grease in here. If it was a liquid, we could pour it in there and it would run out, right? But this side is big, this side is little. So we're gonna put some in there and we're gonna pack it into that spot, and it will come out. You'll see it come out this side. Okay? So let's get some grease. Probably a golf ball size is enough to start with. Okay? And I always start with the outer one, because if you do this one, you can put it down, and then that one there goes in the wheel, in the hub rather. So same thing. So you just start just grabbing the end of it, otherwise you'll fill the center up. Just keep grabbing the side, because if you go right into the middle of that pile, it would just come out the center of the hub hole, the hub hole. See, you can see it coming up through there now. See that? So now we turn it, and we do next to it, and just keep doing it until the grease comes out the top, like that. Okay, turn it. You can see the grease build up in there, so you can just push that back out, back into this hand, and go back to putting the grease in. That grease coming up there is from the center, so that doesn't count. Just keep going. There it is. Turn. Keep going. Move the grease down. Okay. Yeah, there, it just came out of the bearing there. Push that back in. One way or the other, we gotta get it out of there. There we go. There, it just popped up through, not through the center, but through that side there. So then when you're fairly happy that you got it all in there, you can't just wipe it on there. That doesn't pack it. So once you've done that and it's packed good, then you can set that off to the side. All right. Now we have the inner one. That was the outer. This is the inner. So again, same procedure. keep grabbing little bits, and then you'll see it come up in there. Okay, turn. There it is. Out here on the sides, not in the middle. This middle part doesn't count. That's just extra grease. Okay. Turn it. There, you can see it sticking up there, coming up through the top. There it is again. There's that one. Looks like we need just one more spot here, and we'll be all the way around. And there it is. That's all the way around now. See that come right up? Okay, so doesn't hurt to put some on the outside. You don't need it on the inside because that's going to be on the hub anyway. Okay, so there's that. Now I need to take one glove off so you can follow me around. Lily's not much help. Guess I'm gonna have to set this down for a second. Okay. There's that glove. Ta-da. If you have any extra grease on your hands like that, you can put it back there, or you can put it in the hub. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take this. We'll stick it in the hub there. And we're gonna put some grease down in there. Okay. So, we wanna go get the grease and bring it back. And I don't wanna get grease where that little bit of surface area is. Surface rust, rather. You don't want to get grease there. So I'm going to take some grease. And this isn't necessary because we got the grease gun and we're going to do this with the grease gun. But any grease that you can put in there, down inside there, between the two races, is going to save you time. Like that's about half full now. Around that, so that's going to save you a lot of time pumping the grease in there. I could put a little bit more in there. There's Lily. Put some in on that side over there. Okay, back to the bearing. Here, a lot of back and forth unless you're doing this in one spot. I'm just doing this like this to show you. Okay, so there's the bearing sets like that, right? Okay, so now I got to get the seal, that's the new seal, and we're going to put that on there. And let me get rid of this. Get rid of this glove. Okay. Now we'll take the seal. Stick her on there. Now we're going to tap on the, not on the low spot, on the high, and not on the high spot, but somewhere in the middle of those spots. If you hit the low one, it's just going to start this side in and it's not going to do anything. All right, so, and it's hard to do with one hand, but see how that starts down? So you want to pick a spot that's not high and not low, because otherwise you'll just spend the day going back and forth like this. All right, so you got to pick a spot that's on the side, and I guess maybe I can set this here. I don't know if you guys can see it. No, you can't. How about here? No. About. Okay, so, right, So now I got this side down. So now we tap, 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 tap. I know you guys tipped over. Hang on. And then you have it. A lot of times you can go just flush with this, with the seal. I go just a little bit further. It sets down just a little bit. On this older axle, it doesn't hurt it to set down. Try not to deform it too much, obviously. That's going to be the seal. And so this grease here you want to wipe off because you don't want that to go into the bearing. So you can wipe that off with a rag and knot your pants so your wife doesn't know. Right? Right. So now that little surface rust you could wipe off, but it's not going to matter. Every brake, like if you were to look at my truck just setting over there, the rotors have surface rust just from setting overnight, and that's what happened here. So now we're going to take this and we'll bring it over here. I will wipe that off, the surface of that off a little bit. And then we'll slide it on there, and then we'll put our outer bearing on. And somewhere here in this mess of stuff, there will be a washer and a nut. We know it's here because we took it off, right? But that's going to be the next step. So let me get that done, and we'll be back.